Good day guys, MFWest here, and today we have a Mythic Inerva Darkvein guide. Now I did promise you at the start of the tier that I would post all the Mythic guides as much as I could, and I will keep to that promise. So today this is our first raw footage kill of Inerva. And I will probably get around to doing the previous bosses, but I really do want to post and analyze the later bosses, so like Council, Sludge Fist, Stone Generals. But I will get to the early ones because I know everyone has different kind of prog, right? And giving my insight, I think, will be helpful. Okay, so it's a really quick guide in terms of me showing you what I am going to be using into this fight. Let's have a look at the gear first of all. I have a pretty decent gear set, guys. The only massive downside that I have are my boots. They're filthy. I'm hoping to get the Shriekwing Mythic boots, but they don't drop. They don't even drop in Heroic, so yeah. That's my weakest part of gear. I got a 207 Quantum. Very, very strong piece of gear, and I'm currently sitting at 17.58% haste, 54% mast, 13% pretty much, 13% crit, and a few slots here, guys. So yeah, a decent weapon as well with crit mastery, and there you have it. In terms of my talents, everything is the same. Nothing changes in terms of your single target setup. The only row that I will talk about is this row here, the level 40 row. Now, I am a big advocate, as you'll hear in the actual kill video, for Death Pact. The reason why is because when you receive the beam mechanic to line up your triangle, you take like 15 to 20% of your HP per second. It's a massive amount of damage, and you don't have AMS available to actually help you out defensively because you're using AMS for the immunity soak mechanic for the boss. So you literally have to resort to using Death Pact as a main way for you to live. You have nothing else. You have IBF Healthstone, yeah, but what happens if you get back-to-back beams? Like, you got to think about that, right? You don't overlap. So you can either choose between Death Pact and Wraithwalk. Now, Wraithwalk is arguably very strong because you want to get to your beam spot, like your orb spot, very quickly, right? You don't want to waste people's time. You're a little freaking wheelchair waddle waddle, so it's quite tempting. But the reason why I lean towards Death Pact is because melee should already be getting the orb close to the melee stack. You shouldn't have to move that far. It's the range that I have to do the walking and running and marathon running to the other side of the room. Therefore, I think Death Pact is a much stronger option on this fight, okay? Nothing else changes, guys. Everything else is single target orientated, okay? In terms of my Soulbind, it's going to be a many. No changes there. I am level 26 renowned, so yeah, that's pretty much the standard setup. And let's go straight into the boss fight, guys. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, before we get into it, when I refer to beams, it's the mechanic where you have to line up your beams with your corresponding person to form the triangle. That's what I'm referring to. Alrighty, so let's get straight into it, guys. Pretty much off the bat here, you have two options here. You can army at one because of how long it takes for you to get to the boss, or you can get on the boss and do your normal opening rotation that I usually do. Just mixing it up here, guys. Yep, so I'm gonna open up, and I always pan my camera back for the first beams, just to see like, oh, that's my beam, that's my orb right there. Then I need to go for the beam. Oh, I have to go over there. I actually do like taking Death Pact on this phase because if you are getting the beams quite a lot, Death Pact will save your life. You take a shit ton of ticking damage whilst you're aiming up your beam, and I think Death Pacts are very valuable. The same can be said for Wraithwalk as well. So as you can see there, the weak aura, I just immuned because the weak aura told me to. Really, really straightforward. And what's amazing is every immunity was targeted by the boss. We didn't get a single ad, so we're going to crank boss damage here, guys. We're at 10k here, and the boss is at 70% HP. Really pumping hard here. I get pretty lucky on this, guys. I only get one beam phase throughout this entire fight, so really lucky. I can just focus on pumping the boss. Honestly, overall, I still think I messed up my cooldowns a little bit, but we'll talk about it as it happens. The boss is getting pretty much shreked here, guys. He's already almost down to 50%, and we're going to start moving him. I do believe we're going to get another set of ads here. Now, for the soaks themselves, we have ranged in melee. So here comes the next set of soaks. So it's really handy to have the range in melee. Going to AMZ for these boys. And, sorry, that's actually the tank's AMZ. I'm AMZing after this. So, yep, all good. Now, the ads, I'm getting this second kick on Skull. I honestly think if you needed to, you could pet kick cross. And then you yourself could kick Skull, but who wants to pet kick in raid, right? But yeah, second kick on Skull, it's not that bad. It can overlap. If you get a beam mechanic, you have to call out to the raid that you need someone to take your kick, otherwise that cast is going off. Alright, so we're moving the boss. The boss is at 46%. Crazy push here because of no ads in one of the phases. And yeah, just getting soak mechanics here. Obviously, you don't want to stack into a soak mechanic if you can see someone in it. It's a matter of having only one person in it. Now, the warrior reflects here, and the boss has it reflected the mechanic on her for the soak. And I AMZ these two people here, and again, now beams come out here at the same time that you need to get your second kick, so again, focus on your kick. If you get the beam, call out to raid. Now, I am going to hold, as you can see, I'm holding my Army of the Dead here for the next PI. I almost go for that soak there because I thought no one was going to get it. But yeah, hold your Army of the Dead for your next PI. Now, I actually used my Unholy Blight and Dark Transformation whilst I was waiting because I knew that it would take a while. A really easy beam for me. It's right next to the boss, just waiting for the old wolf to get over there and line it up. Boom, there she goes. Now, I'm going to be getting PI quite soon here. Unfortunately, you have to hold your Unholy Blight and Dark Transformation a little bit. Also, I had to move away from boss here because I didn't want to stand into the shit on the ground or the circle. So massive downtime there. I could have greeted, but I was just playing it safe because I knew this was the kill. So I'm going to get PI very shortly here, guys. Pretty much here, I get it. I'm Army of the Dead, and we're going to go from 5.9k to 6.5 pretty much in this window. Watch the meters. Pretty much a ramp fest here, guys. And yeah, that downtime there unfortunately kind of screwed me over there. I could have probably finished a little bit higher than I did here, but literally popping everything. Here it's just a burn, doing beams, soaking, and that's it. It's literally just a burn here. So as you can see, popping everything that I have, and that's pretty much it. So I do, if you are getting PIs, I recommend holding your Army of the Dead for that third PI of the fight. It will help you massively. I am Z there because I thought that guy was in trouble. It gets reflected on the boss, and we're just going to crank the boss down. In future dates, when this boss is going to be getting obviously smashed harder because of gear, it might be interesting. There might be a little bit of change of mechanics there. You might not hold Army of the Dead because PI might not line up with it, but for this kill, that is pretty much what we're going to go down with. So finishing up on 6.5k DPS, which equivalates to a 95, 96 percentile overall for Unholy Death Knights on this fight. So not too bad, not too bad. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to be pretty much doing this for every boss fight in the raid. I will get around to the earlier bosses, but yeah, I will get to it. So give it a thumbs up. Follow me on social media at MFWest WoW on Facebook and Twitter. And have an awesome day. Stand holy and peace. See ya.